We all fancy ourselves fast on the street or on the track, but when it comes to real racers, you know you've made it when a company names a motorcycle after you. And that is what we're looking at today with the Ducati MH900e. MH stands for Mike Hailwood, and the E stands for Evoluzione, which is my horrible pronunciation of evolution in Italian. And the reason it's called evolution is because back in 1979, Ducati actually made the MHR, or Mike Hailwood replica. That bike stemmed from 1978 when Mike Hailwood, or Mike the Bike, came back from an 11-year absence of motorcycle racing and won the Isle of Man on a Ducati 900 SS that had been specially prepped. That bike is worth its own video and its own story, but coming back to quote-unquote modern day, this is the evolution, the newer version of that. It started as a design study by Pierre Terblanche, who wanted to create an homage to the original MHR. And so he created a design, and Ducati, funny enough, just introduced it at a show and put it up on the internet and asked people, is this something you like? Is this something that you would want to buy? 300 people said yes, and Ducati decided to make 2,000 of them. The original plan was to make 1,000 the first year, 1,000 the second year, and what makes this bike interesting, among many reasons, is that this is the first time that an OEM manufacturer kind of ignored the dealership model and sold things directly to the consumer via the internet. So they put this up for sale, hey, reserve one, put your deposit, that kind of thing, and the first 1,000 bikes sold out in 31 minutes. Like a few other Ducati specials of the time, this relies heavily on the parts bin. So it has a motor from a 900 SS, it's about 74 horsepower, but it comes with gearing from the Monster 900, so the gearing is a little bit shorter and the acceleration is a little bit better. Now, anyone that's ridden one of these can tell you that at the end of the day, it's not about long-term performance or anything like that. It is quite uncomfortable, but it is absolutely fascinating to look at from a styling standpoint. I mean, when it comes to the headlight, the dash, the exhaust, it's really very, very unique in the world of motorcycling. Two fun facts I want to share with you about this bike for your local trivia night with your buddies. One, Ducati originally planned on outsourcing production of this bike to Bimota. Again, this is around the year 2000, 2001, and unfortunately, Bimota had just gone through that whole debacle with the V-Do 2-stroke 500 and had basically gone bankrupt. So Ducati couldn't use them and had to move production in-house. Fun fact number two, the wife of Mike Hailwood, Pauline Hailwood, who unfortunately passed away recently, Pauline actually ended up suing Ducati over this bike because they did not give her any royalties, they didn't get permission to use her husband's name. And it even goes back to that original MHR I was talking about earlier, because when Ducati built that bike, even though they originally planned on making a limited number in that first year of 1979, it was so successful that they kept building it beyond the homologation rules for another 5, 6, 7 years or so. They made thousands of them, and the Hailwood family did not get a single penny from that bike either. So I understand Pauline's frustration, but unfortunately it did not work out for her. So just two interesting things to note about this bike in general. Now, this bike specifically is very special to us. So this bike came to us from Japan. It is number 1200 out of 2000. When these bikes were sold new, when you bought them online through the internet, that kind of thing, they came with the bike, obviously, a rear wheel stand, a cover, a t-shirt, and a plaque. And most of these things, even the t-shirt, were embroidered or showed in some way, not just the fact that your bike was limited to 2000, but it even had your specific bike number. So whoever bought this bike originally, number 1200, got a t-shirt that said 1200 out of 2000. So Ducati did a really interesting job there from a marketing standpoint. Now, unfortunately, a lot of those extras have not stayed with the bike over the years, but this is a 0-mile bike. Now, we use the term 0 mile just to represent delivery miles or things like that. Never been started since it was delivered to a dealership, that kind of thing. This has all of 2 kilometers on the odometer. The reason I say kilometers is because this was originally sold in Japan, and that's where that bike came to us from. But As you can see, you've got protective covers on the engine case there, the clutch cover. There's cardboard on the radiator. This bike has never been ridden. We brought it in, we made sure it was a runner. We did the belts, fluids, everything that theoretically, if you wanted to, you could pull the protective film off and just start covering miles on this thing. So we're really excited about it. Angel here at the shop gave it a great detail. It's up on the auction site now if you're interested in making this one of your own. Because it's a Japanese import, please note that it's gonna be very difficult, if not impossible, to get a California title for it, but every other state, you're pretty much good. So I want to share this one as the bike of the day because A, the MH900 is very special, and B, this is one of the coolest ones we've seen in a long time. Because of the mileage, I'm not going to start it up or ride it this time around, but you can see in the listing on the website that we did fire it up. It sounds healthy, and someone's going to be a very lucky owner with this. So as always, thanks for watching, and we look forward to the next one.